There's a new source of information in the workplace. It's captured the attention of workers, supervisors, health and safety committee members, first aid personnel, fire response teams, and more. It's the WHMIS Material Safety Data Sheet, an MSDS. There's safety information for everyone who works around controlled products, health effects caused by overexposure, hazard evaluation for product handling, storage, or use, protective measures, emergency procedures. It has similar information to its counterpart, the WHMIS label, plus a lot more detail. Your health, even your life, can depend on it. You'll be looking at the MSDS in this segment. Its purpose, who's responsible for its content, the basic rules for its design, and some details of the information it must contain. The MSDS is the second element of the WHMIS information system and is meant to supplement the alert information provided on labels. MSDSs are required reading and must be used in the development of safe work procedures. Employers must ensure workers understand the content and act on it accordingly. It's a WHMIS requirement. One MSDS, however, cannot cover all the different hazards encountered from one workplace to another. Employers must transform data sheets into an active program of worker protection that may include further instructions and written work procedures. Employers will consult with the Health and Safety Committee or representative to develop these materials. Most data sheets originate with suppliers, who must provide employers with a current MSDS on or before the date of product sale. The MSDS must be available in English and French and be no more than 3 years old. Employers, in turn, must ensure up-to-date supplier MSDSs are obtained the first time a controlled product is received in the workplace. In addition, employers producing controlled products for use in the workplace must produce data sheets that meet WHMIS standards. The MSDS is used to update the WHMIS program as data sheet revisions become available. However, if a supplier has gone out of business or no longer produces the controlled product and is unable to provide an updated data sheet, the employer must add any new hazard information to the MSDS on the basis of the ingredients already disclosed. Information may be available, for example, through libraries, trade publications, or computer databases. All data sheets must be made available in the workplace for use by workers and health and safety committees or representatives. The data sheets must be easily accessible during each shift in a place where a worker can study the information. Data sheets may be stored on computer if the necessary steps have been taken to ensure easy access. Any design of MSDS may be adopted as long as some basic rules are followed. An MSDS must display a minimum of 9 sections of content, covering approximately 60 items of information. None of the 9 sections can be left blank. If information for a section is either not available or not applicable, then the data sheet must indicate that fact. The abbreviation NA is unacceptable where it is necessary to distinguish between the two terms. The 9 sections must have headings that cover product information, hazardous ingredients, physical data, fire and explosion hazard, reactivity data, toxicological properties, preventive measures, first aid measures, and preparation information. In this example of an acceptable data sheet format, the sequence of sections follows a natural process. Sections 1 through 3, product identification and recognition. Sections 4 through 6, risk evaluation. Section 7, preventive measures. And Section 8, first aid measures. In Section 1, product identification and use, the product identifier must be identical with the identifier on the product label. If a data sheet applies to more than one product, all label identifiers should appear on the data sheet. The Product Identification Number, or PIN, is a number which may also appear on labels and placards when dangerous goods are being transported. They are of assistance to fire departments and other emergency response personnel. The Product Use section specifies the intended product use. Other uses may pose other risks. For example, a solvent intended for degreasing tanks may pose a significant risk to workers if used as a manual cleaning agent because it evaporates easily. The manufacturer and supplier name, address, and emergency telephone number are useful for obtaining additional product information. The emergency telephone numbers should be operational for 3 years from the MSDS production date. A change in an emergency phone number will mean an MSDS update. Section 2, Hazardous Ingredients, provides information on the identity, concentration, and acute toxicity for ingredients in a controlled product. This section must disclose any ingredient which meets any one of 3 criteria. If it is present at a concentration of 0.1% or more, and is classified as a cancer-causing agent or lung sensitizer, or if it could have various effects on reproduction. If the ingredient is in any other controlled product that is present at a concentration of at least 1%, or if the ingredient is included on the ingredient disclosure list and is present in a concentration equal to or more than the concentration shown on the list. The list, which contains about 1,700 entries, is used only to help with this section of the datasheet. It must never be used for classification. Copies of the list are available from regulatory agencies. The LD50 is a measure of a substance's immediate toxicity. It is the lethal dose of a substance expected to cause the death of 50% of an animal population, such as rabbits, rats, or mice, when administered into the mouth or applied to the skin. The LC50 refers to the concentration of a product in air required to do the same thing when inhaled by a test animal. The key point to remember here is that the smaller the LD or LC50 number, the more lethal the substance is. The LD50 numbers may seem abstract. To put them into perspective, consider this. A few tablespoons of a product with an LD50 number of 500 milligrams per kilogram. The cutoff for including products in WHMIS in terms of immediate and serious toxic effect could kill the average person if swallowed.